y'all want a future that y'all trying to establish. Instead, even if he's saving and doing all this extra stuff, he's spending frivolously on dumb shit.
Well, I think you have to give people the space to also be them.
Yo.
Yo.
Are you gonna steal my yo?
Why you always say that?
I don't know.
It's just saying yo.
Yo.
But what's up, co-workers?
What up, y'all?
What up? Welcome back to another episode of the We Outside Afterwork podcast. I am Dana.
And I am Aaron. How y'all doing today?
How y'all feeling?
I'm listening to y'all. Y'all tell us how you feel. First and foremost, for all of our YouTube subscribers or the individuals who watch this on YouTube, subscribe. Spotify, Apple, make sure y'all subscribe. Send a like. A like goes a long way. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, because we looking at them social engagements and we seeing that it's going on an uptick. So we appreciate y'all. Our co-workers are special to us. So thank you.
We love you guys. All right, so we are gonna start with a check-in because it's just us today.
A solo episode.
It's a solo dolo episode. And I have an issue with the mechanic. Like, I want to talk about that. I was at the Mavis Discount Tires all morning for like 2 hours because I had to get all 4 tires replaced. And it was initially it was like $800, but they did a discount where it was like $600. But this was like the second place that I went to because the first place was trying to charge me like $1,000 to get all my tires replaced. And then I had to get a belt replaced too, like an alternator belt.
Did you know any of this stuff needed to get replaced before you got there? Or
no.
did they sell you? They sold you on some shit?
They was trying to give me the warranty. And I was like, nah, I didn't get the warranty though. Because any type of warranty I heard is like an upcharge.
This isn't a gender roles discussion. But a lot of times when you're like going to like a mechanic or an auto dealer, a lot of women like to bring a guy around because these mechanics, they be trying to shake y'all.
I used to go with my dad when I was younger. But now that I'm older and I'm living on my own, like I kind of like to do shit by myself.
I feel you.
So this place that I went to, it was a woman at the front desk. And she was like, oh, I help all the ladies out that come here. So I got you.
She's the real snake.
And I was like, no. Her name was Megan. Shout out to Megan if you ever watch this. Like,
ooh, time out. Shout out to Megan. Did you see Megan Thee Stallion? Ooh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. She looked like she dropped a couple pounds and she's like really like in shape.
She could drop something on the mound too, you feel me? Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was distracted.
You got to chill sometimes. But yeah, so that's what I was doing all morning. And then my other check-in is I want to talk about copycats and people who basically are using our blueprint.
Ooh.
On Instagram. Yeah. So we create our reels a certain way for podcasts. We also do the hashtags and we do like certain emojis that I notice is now being used for other people doing reels and emojis.
We gonna call them out or? Oh, matter of fact, no, we not because they don't deserve the publicity.
Announced on here.
It's
but how you feel about that?
I appreciate it. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Is that what they say?
It is. But when it's like constant though,
that means we're doing something right.
I don't like it. Like at least not tag us, but like at least be like, oh, shout out to the We Outside Afterwork podcast for.
We can't expect people to do things like that. Like that's hater behavior. So if you go and be a hater, you're gonna do hater shit, right?
But you know what it is though? They could copy, but they can never imitate. Yeah. Because there's only one of us.
I mean, it's 2 of us. Yeah. No, I'm messing with it. That was,
you know what I mean? Like one podcast.
Yes. But like I said, I appreciate it because, like we talked about last week, it's all about views. It's all about likes. It's all about shares. It's all about comments. If y'all
they don't share our shit though.
It's okay if y'all going to get them views up because the views sneak you into other algorithms anyway. If y'all want to keep looking at us, seeing what we doing right, seeing what you can take from us, so be it. I've read this book. I don't remember what it's called, but it was basically about like big corporations, right? So Apple or Coca-Cola, they'll look at an RC Cola or a Nokia, a smaller company, and they'll take the things that they do and they're successful because they know once those patents or anything like that runs out, I can use it and I can perfect it. We use shit on the iPhone that been out for like 30 years. But if it comes on an iPhone tomorrow, it's the poppin'est thing in the world.
And I feel like we kind of referenced this with our episode with Jazz when we talked about competition. and how, especially for like a clothing line, like there's so many different clothing brands. And even when you go to the store, like there's so many options for like cereal, for example.
Right.
But
nobody wants the Fruity-O's.
I don't really eat cereal, but my whole point is like there's so many options for different people to choose from. So there's always a niche for you, regardless of how many competitors there are out there.
Yeah, but you also got to recognize how impactful are you as a niche, right? You know that story with the guy that's doing like the imitation Nikes or whatever it is. Like Nike is suing him.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So it's like Nike's not suing everybody. Back in the day, the Allen Iverson, he used to have like these Reeboks that look like Air Forces. Nike ain't never said a word, right? But you got this young black entrepreneur making waves on the internet.
I was gonna say, is it
right?
because he's getting attention?
It's influence, right? So as we're social influencers doing a podcast, we don't want that copycat to take our stranglehold because we're trying to get afloat. So, we see y'all out there. We
see y'all.
We don't appreciate it, but, in a way we do appreciate it subtly because...
I don't appreciate it.
But, here you go. You can have a little bit of me, sprinkle a little bit of that dust on y'all. Take it.
Oh, God.
Fuck outta
Okay.
here.
All right. So another thing I just want to mention is doing your own taxes. Like that shit really is... Maybe... for me, because I owe taxes this year. So it's taken me about a month to completely like submit my state and federal taxes on TurboTax because I'm trying to like figure out different tax breaks to take.
Did you use different websites?
What you mean?
So I be listening to podcasts and they be advertising. So I use TurboTax also. But then it was one that said Tax Act or something like that. So it was like, yeah, we get the most return, blah, 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 blah.
Nah.
Trust me.
But the reason why though is because I've been using TurboTax for so long, and because they're very detailed and they ask you like step-by-step questions
But they
of like,
all
does
do
it
it.
apply to you? Well, this is one that like I trust, and they have the experts available every single time that you need help. You
Okay,
just
I'm
call.
gonna hook you up with this website because they got
Have
everything.
you used it?
Yeah, I use it this year.
Okay.
They got everything that
I'll probably
TurboTax
use it
has.
next year then.
And it was actually just as fine-tuned and detailed. Like you have to get your previous year's statement and all that kind of stuff.
So what makes it different? Is it cheaper?
They got me some money.
Oh.
I don't know what I did. Sorry, don't come find me, feds. I shouldn't have said that. Delete that. Scratch it out the record.
Yeah, I'll cut it out.
Nah, you ain't got to cut it out. But no, it's just sometimes different information is provided for you to create different revenue streams, right? So maybe on TurboTax, I didn't discuss my charitable donations. At my employer, I do charity like all the time.
Do
yeah,
Okay.
because we have it's basically one of our metrics. So it's like I'm gonna do $100
like
of
a
charity.
volunteer day.
Yeah, we got
Okay,
all
my
that
job
stuff.
has that too.
So I'm going to reference that on my taxes.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people know, like when you go to Rite Aid, Walgreens, you put them dollars in, you need to hold on to that.
I always press no. Like I never donate at Walgreens.
Why you don't like to donate?
So I donate clothes like multiple times a year. I'll clean out my
Ain't no
closet.
receipt for clothes.
But I still put that as goodwill on my taxes. So it counts. Yeah. What about you? What's your check-in? What you been up to?
I just been trying to stay afloat socially, keeping abreast to our Instagram and our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok.
Can we just speak on something real quick with Instagram taking away the paid reels to their influencers? Like, how you feel about that?
I feel like they don't want to pay people because they know people are willing to pay them. Now, I think we can get into a topic from there if you want to just...
But I want you to finish your check-in. Then we'll get back into that.
All right. But yeah, I just been trying to connect to people. So prior to us shooting, we met another podcast group. And I made sure that I supported these guys.
We're not shouting them out, though.
That's fine. But I bought a hoodie from them, because anything goes a long way. Like if y'all want to buy one of these nice little cups.
Until we're on their podcast, then we can shout them out.
I didn't say nothing. I'm just saying.
Because the thing with Aaron, he was trying to go on the podcast by himself.
That's not what
without
happened.
Me, like he's a one-man team.
That's not what happened.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's we outside after work
or I'm
with
outside
Aaron.
after work.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. What happened was we was just, shooting shit, getting to know each other. And an offer was extended, but that's all. You know?
Let them know we're a duo.
Not a solo. You see how that works?
Yeah.
But no.
We needed a ding for that.
It's all good. And another thing is just supporting people in general. Like, we started 2023 off with that as our mantra. Like, 2023 is about support. So shout out to Jazz. I'm waiting on my hoodie to come in, so we can get our hoodies and we can be on the show, representing. And that's what I'm checking in on. Just making sure that we live in the things that we're talking about.
Love that.
But
okay, let's get back into the social media and on Instagram. So I feel like now, because you can buy a badge, like you can buy a blue check on Instagram to basically, I guess, like say that you are who you are and you are a public figure. And I think that's why now they're taking away like the paid reels and the paid content, because it's like you said, like now people are paying them. So why would they pay?
And the people who maximize Instagram to the perspective where they're getting hundreds of thousands of views, they already got it.
Yeah, like, they have an audience.
Like, they can make money through so many different avenues that if I'm Mark Zuckerberg, I don't have to give it to you. If anything, I want other people to start to try to utilize and leverage this blue check mark.
Because, go ahead. Okay, so I was just going to say, with Instagram, the reason why, like in the beginning, they started paying was because TikTok came out, right? And then TikTok became one of the most used social media besides Instagram. So they're like, let's take TikTok's thing with the reels, with their clips, and let's add it to our platform. And in order for people to use it, let's pay them. But now that people are just putting out reels just because that's a part of Instagram, it's like, all right, well, why would we continue to pay you when you're doing this regardless?
And then Instagram also has tied in with Facebook. All that stuff is like, one reel is worth two now. So instead of TikTok, where it's like you got to go through so many different back channels to get that TikTok video onto Instagram, onto YouTube, onto Facebook, it's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah. So you're saying like with the collaborator tool?
Not
Instagram?
just the collaborator tool, but just being integrated into multiple social medias at once. Like that aspect, like I can have 5 different Facebook pages and it can all take the same Instagram reel to 5 different audiences. So it's like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either until they just start doing it. Like my Facebook has like a public figure profile that I don't use or anything because I haven't established it yet. But it's like they're trying to take advantage of that market share. Similar to how we talked about with copycats and imitation and all that kind of stuff. Okay, TikTok, you're a brand new company. You think you're just going to come in?
Well, TikTok might be banned.
Even still. Yeah. And I'm sure Facebook is trying to push for that, or Meta, I'm sorry. They're trying to push for that because now they can take that market share. And it's all about just boosting up the metaverse. But I also got to give a little bit of credit to Elon Musk, because he started this on Twitter with Twitter Blue. Like all these people buying a badge on Twitter.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, who's that verified person that just liked my stuff? And then
I feel like it was only a matter of time for Instagram to do that anyway, because the thing with the social medias too is like once they realize this new feature is being utilized and so popular, it's like, oh, let's add that to our platform. Even with Twitter, when they started to have like that Twitter circle, which was basically like a close friends for Twitter. So
because everybody's copying each other.
Yeah.
It's like social media is essentially all the same thing with different paint, right? Like if I walk in this room, in that room, in this room, it's really the same room, the same people, the same conversations.
It's just a different platform.
It's just a different platform. We try to use it differently by all using it the same.
Yeah, because I have a Twitter. I never promote it though. Like, because it's a completely different name from my Instagram, and I made it in like 2009. And I'll still tweet every now and then, but I'm not on Twitter to have more followers. Like, I don't utilize it like that. Like, I'm mainly on Instagram.
Did you hear the Dave Chappelle story about Twitter?
What's the story?
So him and Cat Williams actually got into a Twitter beef because he was going...
Recently?
This is like early Twitter. Okay. So like 2012, 2011. So he was going on Twitter to create a profile, not realizing that somebody already had his name. So obviously if Dana wants to go on Instagram, she wants to be beyond the bullshit on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, right? But somebody potentially. Yeah. So he was going on Twitter to buy that name. Just so happened that somebody else had his name already, and then somebody else had Cat Williams' name already, but they had the two of them beefing on Twitter. The whole world thought that Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle was beefing.
They thought it was the real people.
And both of them was catfish pages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? So it's like, you need to pay to play. He had to buy his name on Twitter if he wanted to get in there.
That's
so
crazy.
You get these stories like that, you realize like celebrities set the tone for this type of shit, where it's like, I want to buy into my name.
See, the thing with having your name on all platforms, so even with my Instagram, how it's Beyond the Bullshit, like it's not my government name, like that is done intentionally. And also with Twitter, like it's not Beyond the Bullshit, like it's something completely separate, because early on I was just like, I don't want to have that digital trail. Like, I don't want to be so, if you don't know me either like through friends or the content that I put out, like I don't want you to be able to find me so easily on social media.
Oh, they found me.
Yeah, like, because when it came to jobs, especially first starting out as a young adult and like trying to get like lock in that corporate job to make money, I was like, yo, I don't want to be one of those people where they're like, oh, let's look at your Twitter tweets from 5 years ago and you said some wild shit and now you can't get the job.
Yeah.
So all of that is done intentionally for me.
I had a job offer from a company in London when I first got out of college, and they had to rescind the offer. Because it was like, I checked your Facebook and you were saying...
Yeah, Facebook was... Oh, yeah.
It was like
public.
2012. It's public now, but at that point, it was public too. And it was like, it was just some outlandish things on there that doesn't represent our company well. So I'm like,
that's so fucked up.
So I that's why my Facebook was private, my Instagram was private, and all that kind of stuff for so long. But now that we're trying to establish... growing a platform and all that kind of stuff. But we want to open it up to give our coworkers the opportunity to actually get to know us.
Reasons why I was thinking, should I change my Instagram name to my government name? Because people keep saying like, yeah, you should change it. But I'm like, I've had this Instagram name for so long. If I change it now, I feel like it doesn't make sense for...
But why would you change it?
I don't want to change it.
I'm saying, what's their reason for why?
So the reason being is because nowadays, most influencers, like they have that same like naming convention for everything. Like they have their government name on their TikTok, their Instagram, their Twitter, and just to have a cohesive setup for my social medias, I feel like that would make sense. But because I only utilize Instagram, like I don't want to promote my Twitter.
So we're gonna have to get you a tagline. That's why. So like, no one calls me Aaron Early in real life. Like, even though that's my name, that's my middle name, it's not my last name, right?
I thought it was your last name.
No, it's not. See, they don't even know me. It's crazy.
Because you keep saying it. You're like, I'm Aaron Early for a reason.
Yeah, so you want to put that out there so if someone ever searches you, that's what they're searching to find.
You know what's funny? I was talking to my aunt yesterday.
And she
No, so she supports the podcast. Shout out to Nobi. She lives in Arizona. And she's starting up her own digital business. So she's starting her business with affiliate marketing and stuff. So she's putting me on like different things that she's coming across and things that's working for her. So she was talking about a podcast clip, and she was like, yeah, when you have affiliate marketers coming to you and want to promote Beyond the Bullshit's reels, I was like, oh shit, she know my Instagram? Because she don't follow me on Instagram. So it was just crazy that she mentioned that. So
she be following you.
She probably do. She probably got like
she got a private page.
She got a Finsta. Yeah, so all right, let's move on to the next topic, which is pretty serious. And when this story dropped, I'm not gonna lie, I was avoiding the videos because I knew there was gonna be footage of what happened. So I'm referencing the school shooting that happened in Nashville, Tennessee recently, where I think it was 5 people died. It was 3 children and 2 faculty.
A janitor and I think the principal or the school director.
That's fucked up. And then the shooter, they killed her, so she died. But I was just like, this is just another sad school mass shooting. And at this point, like, we know there's gonna be footage out there like after it happens, but I think, like, I've seen clips where people are saying that we're numb to it. Like, we're numb to the footage of like seeing people die in these mass shootings or whatever the case, and it goes around social media and is so viral. But how do you feel about that? Like, stuff like that being shared?
It's crazy. When I'm on Twitter, I always go to my trending to see what's going on in sports and what's going on with mass shootings. It's just, I've been conditioned to do that. So
Is that like a hashtag?
No. It's just because if it happens, it's going to be trending. So it's like, I already know something catastrophic is going on in the world. Mass shooting, police shooting, anything like that. Here we go again.
Yeah, I tried to avoid it for a couple days. But then once they were talking about it on podcasts that I listened to, I'm like, okay, let me take in this that's happening. And like, it's just so sad and depressing. And it just like, I think it's just fucking terrible.
It's hard though, because obviously it's terrible, but where does it stem from? Like, what would make somebody want to do this to the point where it's...
I heard a couple reasons. So one reason is because bullying nowadays it's on like a bigger platform. Like, you know how when you were in high school, like if you were bullied, thank God I wasn't bullied when I was in school, but you'll hear about it for like a couple days and then that's it. Nowadays, if there's like a fight or someone making fun of you in the class or whatever, like it gets put out on social media and shared with like thousands of people.
Yeah, and that's
so
also...
I couldn't imagine how that will affect your, you know, like your emotions and stuff.
Yeah, it's also increasing suicide, and a lot of those kids that are getting bullied, which like... I get where the manifesto came from, where she was like, I'm going to die today and all this kind of stuff. But what does that have to do with 9-year-old kids? You know?
Yeah.
And
that's fucking selfish.
Granted, I can't tell somebody how to feel and how to carry out their emotions because... But
to take other people's lives with you, like that's...
I'm completely...
not acceptable.
On the same page as you, that's not acceptable. But if it's like somebody that wants to like commit suicide in a car. If I'm just going to drive through and jump off a bridge, I don't care who's in front of me. Like, I'm willing to take anyone out if I want to take myself out. And I don't know how we can combat that. Like, I don't know what we can do about that.
So, for one, I think because it is so easily accessible to get guns, like, there's no type of psychological thing that you go through before you can purchase a gun. So, I think that's number one. And another podcast I was listening to was actually The Breakfast Club. Like, they're a podcast, but they're a radio show. And Charlemagne was saying how, like, to have cops in schools, like to have retired veterans, because there's so many retired veterans who don't have jobs. So that could be, like, a good thing for them to do, is just, like, go patrol schools during the day.
Yeah, but I don't think that actually helps. All I think that is a deterrent, right? It's no different than a camera. A camera is not there to stop crime.
Well,
it's
veterans
there to
are
deter.
trained, though.
You can be trained all you want, but if I decide to open fire, I'm still opening fire.
So what would you recommend?
It's nothing to recommend. Like, people are crazy.
I disagree.
Like, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it.
But something could be done. Like, something could be put in place, because a lot of schools, too, like, they don't have any type of metal detectors. Like, you just walk into school willy-nilly and, like, do whatever to kids.
How would you have felt if you walked into your school with a metal detector?
I went to a school where there was a metal detector.
Okay.
When
How did
I was
you feel?
in, I think I was in 3rd grade. I went to school in Irvington, and they had metal detectors.
How did you feel?
I mean, I felt safe. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I was like, oh, I got to walk through a metal detector. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal to me when I was that age. So, honestly, but because mass shootings are so high in America, like, this is the only country where we have a problem with mass shootings.
I think feeling safe is a lot different for me, because I'll give you my experience. Feeling safe is a lot different than feeling apprehensive. Like, I went through a situation in 7th grade where they literally shut down the school, and they had an announcement, and they locked all the doors, and they had the kids hiding under the chairs and the tables.
Was it because of a mass shooter?
It wasn't, but it was somebody entered the building that wasn't authorized. So they didn't know who this individual was, right?
I remember that. They used to have those trainings when you were in elementary school.
So it's like, we don't know what's going on. This is crazy. Like, my life could be over. If I'm a 12-year-old, I shouldn't think like that. Like, period. But you can't do nothing about it. That cop that's going to be patrolling your elementary hallways, that's going to remind you every single day that somebody can come in here and kill me. Why do I want my 12-year-old to think about that? That's what it is
now. Like, that's literally what it is, where kids go to school now because they're scared, because there's so many mass shootings. So, like, that's just, now that's becoming, like, the norm, because it's happening so often. So I think to have, like, a retired cop or a veteran in the school to potentially, like, save a life, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think, and if anything, it's helpful.
And I don't want to argue that point because I agree with that, right? Saving any lives is better than saving no lives, right? But I don't think that the idea that this cop is going to prevent anything aside from more bloodshed. That's all. I just feel like if I want to carry out this, the only way that you're going to stop me is to stop me before I even start.
I think it just takes a preventative approach to it, which now I think is just not there. So to have like something like this in place, like if anything, it could be beneficial rather than detrimental.
Well, first off, we need to try to do our best to stop mass producing guns. I don't know.
I don't think that's going to stop.
Americans are way too interested in
that's like a
what
$1
guns can
billion
do.
industry.
So?
Or trillion.
Is that more important than our children?
That's how me and you think, but
that's how
not,
everybody needs to think. And
but
we need
it's
to,
not. That's
we
not
need
the
to,
reality.
We need to create reasons for it, right? A lot of we're gonna segue just a little bit. A lot of I'll use white people. I'll generalize. A lot of white people like guns because they feel like the government is going to take over and that black folks are going to kill them.
Is that why?
That's why. That's why when you walk into that Irvington school,
I think it's like not to cut you off, but I think for them it's their way of like feeling entitled and in control. It's like, oh, I have this gun that makes me feel like, oh, okay, I could walk around like I'm hot shit, basically.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have that feeling.
Is it because of black people, you think? Like
nowadays,
just
yeah, because they think that every black person is a hooligan or a thug. And this is why when you go to a school like Irvington, you need to have metal detectors in the 3rd grade. It don't even make sense. You get me? 3rd grade? That don't make sense.
I think it depends on the like the environment, like where you're going to school. If you're going to school in a district that has a high crime rate, I think it would make sense to have metal detectors in the schools. Like even with the mass shootings, it's like, but the thing with the mass shootings is like you don't know when or where that will happen.
Well, I know for most part it doesn't happen in schools with high crime rates. And
we have to look that up.
I'm pretty sure if we look up the facts, I got some of the statistics over here. But when we see this stuff on TV, it's usually some rural or suburban area where it's a whole bunch of, it could be a melting pot, but it's very rarely the urban schools. So, and it's not because they have metal detectors. It's because how we talked about with 50 Cent said it earlier, depression is a luxury. Like we talked about that a couple episodes ago. These kids who are going through these depressive states in these more affluent areas are executing it out in a way where they're executing people. And that's what I'm starting to see. But rest in peace to everyone involved.
That's terrible that happened. Rest in peace to the people who passed away in that tragic situation. But we can move on to the next topic, which you added, and I just wanted to get some clarity on this, because, like, what the hell does this even mean? So wait, let me read it. So it says, a friendship dating pact. The one in the group who calls dibs on somebody and the homies got to deal with it. What does that mean?
So you ain't never did that? No,
like, tell me what it means
to you.
All right,
so let's say it's usually a girl thing. Let's say it's a group of girls.
No, don't generalize.
I've never met men who do this. But let's say it's a group of girls. Y'all all together and y'all see that one dude. And she's like, that's mine. You can't touch him.
I actually had a conversation last night with my friend Amanda about this. That's so funny.
Yeah. I lived through it. It happened to me in college. And I didn't know about it until afterwards. A couple people told me about it, the individuals that were involved. And first off, I felt bad because why would y'all allow for this young lady
You mentioned this, how you didn't know, and then she was like the ugly friend or something?
I don't want to call her ugly. I don't use those terms.
Not the attractive friend.
Yeah, she wasn't the most attractive to me.
Yeah. Okay.
But they just allowed it. And it's like, you could be my soulmate. You know that?
I would say from the female's perspective. So the conversation I was having yesterday with Amanda, we were basically talking about a situation that happened to where it was I don't want to make this super detailed.
Nah, make it detailed.
No.
Give them what they want.
I'm not going to give them all the tea. So it was a situation where a group of girls, it was like 4 girls and 2 guys. and one of the guys was talking to one of the girls, but another girl in the group, like, she thought that the same guy was cute, right? And her friend knew this, like the one who actually liked the guy, like she knew this. So it was like two girls looking at one guy, right? So the situation basically ended with the girl who didn't call dibs on the guy. She was the one who ended up with him at the end. So I was like, to me, that kind of comes off as shady.
How?
Because, like, for me, it's a loyalty thing. Like, I'm that friend to where if you tell me, like, this guy is cute, like, regardless if I'm attracted to him or not, or whatever the case is, like, he's off limits. Like,
Why?
Because there's so many options out here.
Okay, what if that's your option?
No. Like, just being a friend, to like me being your friend, if you say, like, oh, I like him or he's cute or I'm going to go after him, I'm like, bet.
Okay, and what if she fails?
Then she fails. That don't mean I'm going to, like, go. Ever? Why would I go after? Like, why would I double back and go after
It's not
him?
doubling back. She never had it. She never.
Usually they do. Like, they're usually talking, texting. Either way, if you tell me as a friend that you're attracted to somebody, like, instantly the person that you're going after is not attractive to me.
So, first off, let's look at high school. All right. Okay. But so how many men in high school were you actually attracted to, or boys? I guess.
I don't know.
Just give me a rough like estimate. 2. Okay. So if your best friend decided to say, I'm attracted to those same 2 boys, what you supposed to do?
I'm going to be like, okay, which one are you attracted to?
If she say both of them. You just said, if my friend likes this person.
Okay, I'm talking about now. Like, high school is different. Like, now and in the state that I am as, like, a mature, grown woman, like, I know that there's just so many other options out here to where these 2 men, if, like, my friend likes both of them, you can have both of them. Like,
nah, that's some bullshit.
No, I'm dead ass. Like, the way I operate, like, if you are in my circle of friends, and this just goes along with, like, loyalty and just, like, me having just more.
But why are you putting loyalty on the forefront where her greed is?
Why
like,
is it greed, though?
Because she can't even correlate that this person likes her, and you're just going to say, oh, well, you like him, so I'm just going to slide off. Like, that's not fair to you or that other individual that might like you. It is fair to me.
Because if you haven't approached me, okay, so then
we don't know that.
It's a different situation then. If my friend likes both of these guys, one of them comes up to me saying, like, hey, I'm attracted to you and I like you. If that's the situation, I'm going to go to my friend, and let's say I'm attracted to him as well. I'm going to go to my friend and be like, hey, this is the situation. This is what he said. My friend group will be like, okay, bet. Like, go for it.
What if she said, but I told you I liked him. I really liked him.
Nah, that's immature to me.
That's the point. The whole point of this whole pact thing is it's very immature. It's not giving people the ability to make their own decisions because you're greedy. Like, you can't walk into a room.
I think it just depends then. Because if I'm attracted to that person as well and they say they're attracted to me, I'm like, okay.
Yes,
I'm going to go to my friend and tell them the situation. If it's just on some, like, she's attracted to both of them and I haven't had a conversation with any of them, but I think, oh, one might be cute, then I'm good to just be like, all right, go for it. Like, I don't want any parts. Like, I'm going to just mind my business.
If we are in a kickback, and it's your group of friends and this group of friends, and nobody knows nobody, and she just walks in, and she walks through the door before you walk through the door, like, ooh, that's mine. I'm
gonna be like, okay.
That is whack to me.
Why?
Like, because he don't even know.
It don't matter.
So he don't get the chance to make a decision for himself.
He still has that option. Like, he still has the right to choose.
If he comes up to you,
it's his body, his choice.
If he comes up to you and y'all playing taboo or something, and he's clearly, like, flirting with you, like, what's this on my head? And
so, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. If I'm that friend, right? If I'm that friend that calls dibs on somebody, and then I see my friend is, like, talking to him, the one that I call dibs with, and they're, like, kikiing it up, and I'm like, oh, there's, like, some type of attraction there. Like, the person that I am, I'm gonna be like, all right, bet. I'm gonna let my friend go do what she's doing, and I'm probably gonna talk to somebody else.
That sounds very idealistic. I haven't seen too much of that.
That's me. Like, that's how I am.
I'm not gonna speak for you. I'm saying in general, It sounds very idealistic.
No.
I think a lot of women will take the approach that
we need to talk about. We're gonna make a reel about this and put it on Instagram.
we can make it real because men don't do that.
And we need women to comment.
Men is sharks in the water. Whoever gets the food gets the food. Like that's how I go. Like if I see a girl and you see the same girl, it's just gonna be both of us competing with each other.
The friend groups that I have, like we don't do that though. Like we don't really call dibs on people anyway.
Good. I appreciate that.
To be honest,
because that's
like
some corny
that's not
shit.
like a thing we do.
It's
but if it was the case, and I was the less attractive friend, which is rare, but if I was, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna humble myself and humbly bow out. Like, oh, my friend got it. She's talking to whoever she's talking to, and I'm gonna just get the second option.
I think I understand your premise now. Because,
do you?
Because you made it abundantly clear. If I want them, I can have them.
Here you go.
Go ahead, have at it.
That was a joke.
Have at it.
Yeah. Okay.
If I want them. But men do the same thing. No, if I want.
How is it for guys though? Like, cause I know you have a
core group of friends.
No, you have like a guys thing coming up.
No, I don't.
Oh, you know? Okay. Mm-mm. Okay.
We planned something for the summer.
Have you been in that situation where like your group of guys was out and you saw someone who was attractive and like your friend called dibs on her?
No, because it's just everyone's up for grabs.
Okay.
And if worse come to worse, we might swap. I'm serious. Like, it might be
swap
a situation.
What?
Swap the person that we're interested in. Because you got to go with the vibe. You can't just go with who I want.
Do you talk about that?
No, we don't have to. It's natural. Like, if it's 12 of us and 6 of us are vibing with the other 6, you just let it flow.
That's how
Sometimes
I am.
you got to take one for the team. That's where that term came from.
I don't take anything for a team.
See, because you ain't.
But I'll let it.
The most loyal person over here, you ain't gonna take one for the team?
What does that mean?
Take one for the team?
Yeah, like talk to the ugly friend.
It doesn't have to be the ugly friend.
Well, okay, I don't want to use ugly. I'm sorry. The less attractive friend. I've done that before.
And it doesn't always have to be like you aren't attractive. It's like you might have qualities that I don't find attractive.
But it's not okay. So I'll do that because I think that's like being a wingman or wing woman, right? So that your friend could go in and like talk to the person that they're attracted to. So I've done that before, but not on some like, oh, I want to like really get to know the less attractive friend.
See,
it was just like,
let
me get their attention so that our friends can go have their conversation and get to know each other, and we'll kind of just like have conversation to help the time go by.
Absolutely, and that's what you got to do. Like I'm the perfect wingman, right? Because
what's the definition of the perfect wingman?
The perfect wingman is a time occupant. I'm not trying to do anything but distract you from your friend.
I'm a great wing woman.
So
too.
What I want to do is I want to sit you down. I want to make you laugh. I'll buy you some drinks, buy you some food.
But you don't want to do it too much.
Oh, I'm gonna do a lot.
Oh, you're gonna like lay it on.
Yes, because I don't want this person to disrupt what they got going on. It has nothing to do with me.
But what if they now like start to actually?
I can't help it. I'm a likable person.
So how do you handle that then? Like, do you let them down easy, or you just continue to talk to them after the fact?
It depends. If you cool, you cool. It's been plenty of people that's just mad cool. Like, you can make great friends like this. I don't believe I've had any great friends that I've been a wingman to, but I will do my best because I want to make sure.
See, I don't like doing too much. Like, we'll have conversation, but if you're like, oh, take my number down.
But you don't like small talk either, so it'll be hard for you.
No, I'm great at small talk, but I don't like doing it. But if I'm being the wing woman and you're trying to like get my information to actually like build some type of relationship after the fact, I'm gonna be like, oh no, I'm in a relationship.
Or block them.
Or
restricted.
I don't even do that. Because it's like, well, why give out my number then?
Why not?
Or my information if I know I'm not going to talk to you?
Because it's not for you. It's for her. You know your girl want to get what she got to get.
No, I'm saying like at this point where like my friend has done whatever she needed to do to get that guy's information or whatever the case, if me and the person who I'm being a wing woman with are finished with our conversation and you're trying to continue this conversation and like text or exchange Instagrams, I'm gonna be like, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's when you gotta just dip off.
You gotta finesse it.
Yeah. It's easy, but at the same time, like, you never know. meet a good person just by talking to them and listening to them.
Yeah.
You might make great friends. You might have that guy that, hey, I'll take you out to dinner.
Do you tell them, though, that you're not looking for anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't got time to be lying to these people I don't want to be bothered with.
Yeah.
I only lie to the people I want to be bothered with. Now I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
That's super toxic.
There's nothing toxic about telling the truth.
Yeah, okay.
But one thing I wanted to talk about is we stigmatize people when they are broke. Mm-hmm. Now, broke is a spectrum also, right? Because broke to a millionaire could be making 100,000, right? Broke to 100,000 there could be making 40,000.
Yeah.
She disrupted me.
I'm sorry.
But we have a society where we're trying to build individuals. Why are we tearing them down for whatever they can make? Trying to make ends meet, trying to live.
Who's tearing them down?
Social media.
Okay, so you're
Broke
talking about
niggas
like
don't deserve no pussy. I know that's right.
Yeah, and Drake saying he don't like broke boys.
Yeah, like, and it's one thing. These dudes is celebrities. Or Cardi B's not a dude. I mean,
I wouldn't say it's tearing them down. I think it's trendy. Like everything, yeah, just like the BBL trend, that just like girls getting their lips done trend, and now it's like it is trend. It's super, the lips, yeah, that's trendy now. No, because now it's like black girls getting lip fillers,
which is an odd thing because
because it's trendy.
Y'all got lips.
Yeah, it don't make sense. But what I'm saying is like how now and also it's stems from like having access to celebrities and like them showing what they got for Valentine's Day and their birthday. They got like a bag, a car, and I think there's a generation of people, and also like if you can't differentiate social media and reality, that's also the issue, where like you see all this stuff on social media and like the guys doing this, that, and the third for their girlfriend, and you automatically assume
that should be done for you.
You deserve that too. And like guys need to pay for rent, dinner, they need to like do everything for you, and what are you giving in return? But because it is a transaction in a sense.
I have no problem paying for your rent if you're on Section 8. Like, it's easy. No, I'm just messing.
No, but I'm saying like when it comes down to like dating and relationships, because that's also trendy. Like that's a trendy conversation that's always on Instagram, where it's like what guys should do and don't do in relationships, but it's never what women are bringing to the table. You know
because
what I mean?
I don't believe women need to bring anything to the table in terms of having a quality dude. Most men are going to seek out whatever type of woman that is out there. I think on the flip side, it's the women who seek out more, right?
Yeah, and I think like from what I've heard, guys, they're not looking for women based off their financial stability.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
Yeah. So then what's left?
There's plenty left.
Like what? Like give me an example.
How you are as a nurturer, how you are as a homemaker, how you are as a
confidant. Right?
I was going to say conversationalist. I don't necessarily need you to be a confidant, because sometimes I might not want to confide certain things with my woman because it might just be things that are too difficult for me to discuss.
Well, it doesn't have to be everything, but having someone in your house who you can just talk through your problems, I feel like that's
I don't think a lot of men want to vent. I think a lot of men would prefer to be the listener. We would prefer to be that confidant to her.
There was a trending video on the Shade Room. I feel like we're always referencing the Shade Room, where a guy was basically saying how like women just aren't usually the listeners. Like they're usually not the person who they can come home to and like vent about their problems, and that would be something that he would prefer.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, like I have a lot of things that I would like to discuss and I would like to talk about. And I believe we do a great job at home. But for the most part, if we don't have those conversations, the how was your day type of conversations,
it should be a two-way street though. I feel like let me vent. And I think for me, like I do this, I allow space for you to tell me about things that you have going on or like your dreams and aspirations. But at the same time, like I want you to be interested in stuff that I have going on as well. Because I don't want to constantly be the listener and then there's no space for me to like come to you and tell you like my issues.
How patient are you with those dreams and aspirations?
I'm super patient, and I'm very supportive too.
Have you seen the movie Acrimony?
With Taraji P. Henson, yes.
Now, this is
that
also,
was such a great movie.
This is also a very trendy thing that people like to do. Obviously, the situation that happened is he ended up taking a bunch of her time through her prime.
But she was supportive.
Right?
Like, she was there, paid the bills.
Until it was to the time where she wasn't. And at that moment...
she was doing it for so long.
Of course. I believe we all understand where she was coming from. At that moment where they finally severed ties, that's when he got on.
Yeah, and that's the problem I have with the movie. Because,
with him or her?
With her.
Okay.
Because she like had all this resentment towards him, and because he like popped off after they broke up, then she was coming back like trying to get like money, and because she felt like she helped basically build him up. I personally
don't think she wanted the money. I think she wanted the him that she had prior when he was grinding and struggling and she was there. I don't think she felt that he appreciated that, even though I believe he did.
I think he did too.
I don't think she felt it.
Right.
And
that's the difference.
And this is why feelings and emotions are so important, because we get to these points where it's like, you doing all these actions, but are you paying attention to what I feel? And their love language was completely off. Which is also why he made a good decision to move on from her. Yeah. Like, we aren't aligned. No matter how much you want to come back when shit's sweet.
But that's why I think communication is important too. Because a lot of people, they just assume things. Like, he assumed that, like, she should be supportive because he's chasing his dreams and however long that takes. And she also just assumed that, like, all right, it'll pop off. But if she was basically fed up, it's like, we'll have that conversation. Say like, hey, listen, I can only do this for X amount of time before like this just isn't gonna work. Because it's like, well, how are you expressing how you feel? Are you coming from like an angry place and like coming at somebody, or are you just trying to like have a conversation? Because that's two different things as well.
And I do believe in the movie he was making adjustments to try to like have like jobs and different things like that. But at the same time, it's like, some people will see that and they're like, I can't risk being with a nigga that ain't got shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for me, I don't know if I can like fully financially support someone while they chase their dreams. Because I think like just from like a maturity standpoint in what I do, because like I'm still working my full-time job and still making time, like sacrificing time to do my own personal projects. Like I know you can do both because I'm doing both.
Would you allow a man to date you and have you seek out your dreams and he financially support that? Or do you feel like I gotta
like
do it?
That though.
I'm not saying it from a I want it. Yeah. I'm saying, would you allow it? Because that's something that you have to accept.
Right. But I think when it comes to someone financially supporting you, it does come with a level of control. Like, it comes from them having to give you an allowance, and you have to deal with people's egos. Like, that's just what it is. Like, no one's going to willingly just give you their hard-earned money without being arrogant about it.
Why not?
Because that's usually how it goes. Like, those women who are like full-time housewives, yeah, like they're usually dealing with some type of arrogancy from their husband, whether it's like they have to continuously beg for money, or it's like they're constantly asking you where you at, come home, like do this, do that. Like, it's coming from a level of control.
But isn't that most relationships anyway?
Not that I've been in.
So the dudes don't want you to come home? They don't want to see where you're at? They don't want to say, why are you spending your money this way or that way?
No, I've never had anyone ask me why I'm spending my money a certain way, because it's my money that I made. I'm
sure if you're in a situation that's a lot more serious, where bills are together, where money goes is going to be very important.
Like, bills are always number one for me.
I get that, but I'm saying if things are tied into the two of y'all, and it's like, oh, you being really frivolous with how you spending, like, I need you to dial it back a little bit. That's control, isn't it?
Why am I dialing back if the important bills are getting paid?
Because y'all might be saving for something, or you might be spending money on things that y'all don't need.
If we had a conversation and like we are saving for something, like I know where my priorities lie. If we have conversation where like this is what we're doing long term, then yes, that's gonna be my focus.
It sounds like you have a bit of control issues.
Yeah. I was gonna agree with you until that. No.
Why? You don't think you were in control?
No, I don't. I just know like what I have going on and like how I want to be in a relationship, and I'm not gonna just give that to anybody. Like I know like a certain person deserves what I have to offer.
What's wrong with control?
What do you mean control?
Why isn't it an issue to lend someone else control over you in
I want that. That's what that's the conversations we have with like guys leading, right? And being comfortable in their leadership. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. I was just making sure because it came off like I don't want you to control me and my money and the things that I got going on.
Because don't act like I'm so like I don't know what I'm doing. Not you, but I'm saying
I get you.
If someone is coming to me like acting like I'm a child and I don't know how to manage my money and like how to save for whatever we got going on together, like don't approach me like that, because then I'll be like, all right, well, I've been doing this for X amount of time without you, so like you stepping in is not like your Captain Save a Hoe.
So let's flip it. What if he was spending frivolously?
That's not gonna work.
You see, I didn't even finish.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you answered the question.
Okay.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
This is the whole point.
Well, yeah,
you in control.
That doesn't make sense.
I just said you were spending frivolously.
I'm not in control.
I just said if you spent frivolously, regardless of whether you had things taken care of, it's okay because you got things taken care of.
If he was the same way, I wouldn't have a problem. Maybe I'll switch it like that. Yeah. Like if his priorities,
I think you were right the first time.
If his priorities were in line as well, to where he knew that, all right, we're saving for a house, we're saving for our children's future, we're trying to build wealth together, and that was top priority, and it's like, oh, you have extra money to go buy whatever you want to buy, then like I'm cool with that.
Why?
But if you're, what do you mean?
Why are you cool with that if y'all want a future that y'all trying to establish?
Right.
And instead, even if he's saving and doing all this extra stuff, he's spending frivolously on dumb shit.
Well, I think you have to give people the space to also be them. Like you don't want to control someone to where like they feel like they can't be themselves and now they have to go elsewhere to find that safe space to be who they are.
Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I feel like you have to give people, like man or woman, like you have to give them that space to still do their passions and their interests and spend their money however they see fit. But at the same time, if they are putting aside money for the family or whatever the case y'all saving, then cool.
Now, on the flip side, what if he was cheap?
As far as?
Like, I'm not spending not a dime on you.
That's not going to work.
I'll do whatever the bare minimum is, but deep down, we don't need those extra clothes. We don't need those extra shoes. This vacation, no, we don't need that.
No, that's not going to work for me.
Why not?
Because I don't like that.
But you securing your future.
Yeah, but if you still, like, if we don't make time to, like, do things as a couple and, like, go on vacation and stuff like that, because I think that's important, too, to maintain the relationship.
Y'all go to like, Hershey Park.
I like Hershey Park.
Yeah, see? Cool.
Yeah.
But that's nice and frugal. That's cool.
Is that frugal?
Yeah. Compared to going to Jamaica?
Oh, if it was a choice?
Yeah.
Nah, we'd go to Jamaica, for sure.
So, if he's saying, hey, look, I would rather get a Groupon for
I don't mind Groupon.
70% off to a week in Hershey Park versus an all-inclusive outright in Jamaica where I got to pay for flights too. I think I'm saving a lot more money by just,
If we're both saving, if you're like, all right, I'm saving so that I could put more money aside for what we're trying to build together, then that's understandable to me.
Nah, it ain't understandable with me. Fuck that. I'm not going to nobody's Hershey Park. The fuck?
Well, I just went to Jamaica recently.
What am I supposed to see in Hershey Park?
Yeah.
Ain't shit in Hershey Park. Oh, well, I do love Twizzlers.
It's like a cute little family day. It's not like a couple's retreat.
You wouldn't want to go there for a week?
To Hershey Park?
Yeah.
No. What is like you said? What is there to do for a week in Hershey Park?
Spend time.
No.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the frugal man is making him a priority in your life versus the external things.
Why is that so loud?
But you so concerned with doing the external things and not focusing on the fact that I have me as a priority along with
that
you.
Don't make sense for me, but okay. All right. We are at the end, right?
I believe so.
Are we? Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. We are at the end of the episode. How you feel about this episode?
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Am I low? I'm sorry. Shit, I had a good time.
No, you're good.
We be getting emotional, you know.
We be getting on our feelings.
Yeah.
Like
Cause y'all be wilding.
The personal stuff be coming out.
Yeah. But it's good. You know, y'all get the real us. Y'all don't get that
Yeah.
that fake frivolous us, no matter how frivolous our spending might be.
I need to be more frivolous.
What you want to buy?
What you mean?
You said you need to be more frivolous.
Yeah, I mean frugal. Sorry, frugal. Save
like,
more.
damn, you fake as shit. I thought you was loyal. Nah,
no, I need to save more for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go shop at Save a Lot.
What is that?
It's like a supermarket where you can get Fruitios, but you
I
don't
go
eat
to
cereal.
Trader Joe's.
You want to be more frugal, and you go to Trader Joe's.
I feel like I save more money at Trader Joe's than anywhere else, like a Stop and Shop.
No.
Whatever.
I don't go to Trader Joe's. I don't go to Aldi's.
I love Trader Joe's. They be having like, yeah.
I don't know. I like brands. I'm sorry. Like I love graham crackers.
I'm not a name brand person.
No. I'm not a name brand person for like most shit, but food tastes specific, right? It's a reason that Frosted Flakes taste like Frosted Flakes, right? It's
that shit tastes like diabetes.
Regardless, I'm not telling you how to feel about it. I'm just saying that it tastes like what it tastes like.
Yeah.
I love Nabisco graham crackers. I can't eat no other graham cracker.
Like
I
off-brand.
Nope. It don't taste the same.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And I just refuse. Like Trader Joe's and Aldi's, they got all these random ass brands I ain't never heard of.
But Trader Joe's brands be tasting good, and it's a lot of like foreign shit in there too.
I got a foreign whip.
All right, we're gonna end the episode here, guys.
But wait.
We gotta shout out to Gmail.
She's crazy.
Shout out to Gmail.
If y'all would love to engage in conversation with us. Y'all got me all screwed up. If y'all would love to engage in conversation with us or join the show to discuss what you got going on, especially our entrepreneurs out there, please hit up WOAWpod@gmail.com. And with that being said, co-workers,
we outside.
and we out.
We out.